The blue glow of computer screens lit up President Olivia Daniels' face as she studied the reports on her desk. It was just past midnight at the White House, but sleep wasn't an option tonight. Earth in 2087 was different than a century before. Humans had spread to Mars and Europa, but they were still alone among the stars. Or so they thought. Madam President, her chief of staff, Greg Palmer, entered without knocking. His face was pale. The Space Command just confirmed it. The object is definitely not one of ours. Olivia stood up, her heart beating faster. How close is it? It entered lunar orbit 10 minutes ago. It's small, about the size of a submarine. She followed Greg to the Situation Room, where military officers and scientists were already gathered. General Frank Miller pointed at the main screen showing a dark, sleek object against the blackness of space. "We've tried all standard communication protocols," said Communications Director Liz Warren. No response. Olivia studied the strange craft. Its surface was smooth with no visible windows or doors. "What's it doing now?" "Scanning us, ma'am," replied General Miller. "It's sending out energy pulses toward our defense satellites and military bases." Dr. Samantha Wright, the president's science advisor, leaned forward. "It appears to be gathering information. This is first contact, Madam President." "First contact shouldn't feel this much like being sized up for a fight," Olivia said quietly. Suddenly, alarms blared through the room. A young officer shouted, "The object is powering up some kind of energy weapon." "Target," demanded General Miller. "The Atlantic Defense Satellite." Before anyone could react, the screen flashed. The satellite, which monitored shipping lanes and weather patterns across the North Atlantic, exploded into 1,000 pieces. Olivia gripped the table edge. Was that a civilian satellite? "Yes, Mom. No weapons. It managed weather and communications." The room fell silent for a moment. Humanity's first alien encounter had just turned violent. Olivia straightened her back. "General, activate the Space Defense Force. I want the SDF Intrepid to intercept that ship." "The Intrepid is our newest vessel, Mom," General Miller cautioned. "Captain Holloway and his crew haven't completed full combat drills yet. They're also closest to the attacker," Olivia replied. "We need to respond now." In the cold emptiness of space, Captain Peter Holloway received his orders with a steady voice, though his hands shook slightly. The SDF Intrepid, humanity's newest space vessel, had been built for exploration and defense. Today, it would serve the latter purpose. "All crew to battle stations," Peter ordered. "Weapons systems online. Let's show our visitors that Earth can defend itself." The Intrepid approached the alien craft cautiously. The strange vessel turned toward them, its sleek design unlike anything humans had created. "They're scanning us again," reported Susan Baker, the weapons officer. "Energy readings increasing." "Hold position," Peter commanded. "Let's see what they do." The alien craft fired first, a bright beam of energy that the Intrepid barely avoided. "Return fire," Peter ordered. "Warning shots only. Target their propulsion systems." The Intrepid's laser batteries lit up the darkness of space. 2 shots missed, but the third connected with the alien ship's rear section. The craft spun briefly, then stabilized. For several tense moments, the two vessels faced each other. Then, without warning, the alien ship accelerated away, disappearing from Earth's sensors within minutes. Back in the White House, President Daniels watched the final report with a mixture of relief and dread. "They retreated," said General Miller. "For now," Olivia replied. She looked around the room at the faces of her advisors. "Ladies and gentlemen, everything changes today. We are not alone in the universe, and our first meeting was an act of war." She walked to the window and looked up at the night sky, now forever changed in humanity's understanding. "Get me the UN secretary. Get me every world leader," she said, "and start full production on the rest of our defense fleet. I have a feeling our visitors will be back." 6 months passed since the alien scout ship fled Earth's orbit. The world had changed. Nations united under the threat of extraterrestrial attack. The Space Defense Force grew from 3 ships to 15. Every telescope on Earth and beyond pointed to the stars, watching for the return of the visitors. President Olivia Daniels looked tired as she entered the crisis room. Sleep had become rare for her since that fateful night. "They're back," said Defense Secretary Alan Rodriguez without greeting. "But it's not what we expected." The main screen showed a massive formation of ships approaching from beyond Neptune's orbit. Not 1 or 2, but more than 30 vessels of various sizes. "Are they the same as before?" asked Olivia. Dr. Samantha Wright shook her head. "Different designs. The lead ships are much larger. They could hold thousands. Time until they reach Earth. 3 days at their current speed," Secretary Rodriguez answered. He pointed to a simulation. "Our defense fleet is no match for this many ships." Olivia closed her eyes briefly. Options. Ambassador John Miller, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. "Let me try to talk to them." The room fell silent. "We should at least attempt communication before assuming the worst," John continued. "The first ship attacked, yes, but these might be different aliens entirely." Olivia nodded slowly. "Prepare a message. Make it clear that we will defend ourselves if threatened, but we are open to peaceful contact." Hours later, to everyone's surprise, a response came. The alien fleet slowed its approach and transmitted a message in several Earth languages. "They've been studying us," whispered Dr. Wright. The message was simple. "Representatives of the Galactic Council request audience with Earth leadership regarding recent hostilities with Cerulean forces." Galactic Council. Ceruleans. Olivia looked around the room. "It seems we've stumbled into something much bigger than we imagined." 2 days later, a single ship from the fleet entered Earth orbit. Unlike the scout ship, this vessel announced itself openly and requested permission to land at the International Spaceport outside Geneva. From the ship emerged creatures that looked almost like tall, slender humans, but with pale blue skin and large almond-shaped eyes. Their leader introduced herself as Kel Nara, diplomatic envoy of the Galactic Council. "Your species has created quite a stir," Kel Nara said through a translation device as she met President Daniels in a secure room. "The Cerulean Empire has demanded sanctions against Earth for what they call unprovoked aggression." Unprovoked. Olivia's voice rose slightly. "They destroy our satellite without warning." Kel Nara's expression remained neutral. "The Council must hear both sides. That is why we have come. Earth sits at the edge of space, claimed by the Cerulean Empire, though they have never bothered to inform you of this fact." Ambassador Miller frowned. "We claim our own solar system. No one else has rights here." "That is for the Council to decide," replied Kel Nara. "The Ceruleans are one of the most powerful members. They rarely lose territorial disputes." Secretary Rodriguez stepped forward. "And if we refuse to recognize this Council's authority?" Kel Nara looked at him with something like pity. "Then you face the Ceruleans alone. They have conquered 12 worlds in the last century." Silence filled the room. Finally, Olivia spoke. "What exactly does the Council propose? You may send representatives to present your case at the next Council session. Or," Kel Nara paused, "you may submit to Cerulean authority now and accept reduced sanctions." Olivia didn't hesitate. "We will present our case. When and where?" "Our ship can transport your delegation. The Council convenes in 7 Earth days." After Kel Nara left, Olivia gathered her advisors. "I'll go myself," she announced. "Madam President, that's too risky," protested Secretary Rodriguez. "This is humanity's introduction to galactic politics," Olivia replied firmly. "We need to show them we take this seriously." She looked at each person in the room. Dr. Wright, Ambassador Miller, Secretary Rodriguez. "Pack your bags. We're going to meet this Galactic Council." President Olivia Daniels had never imagined her first trip beyond Earth would be aboard an alien ship. The Council vessel named Harmony was unlike anything humans had built. Its corridors curved gently, with walls that seemed to glow from within. The air smelled faintly of cinnamon and sea salt. "The artificial gravity feels just like Earth," noted Dr. Samantha Wright as she floated a pen in front of her. "But I can adjust it to fall slower." Fascinating technology. Ambassador John Miller was busy studying alien diplomatic protocols on a device Kelnera had given them. "The Council has 27 member species. 5 of them founded it about 800 years ago." "And where do these Xerelians fit in?" asked Secretary Rodriguez, who had been quiet since boarding. "They joined 300 years ago," said Kelnera, entering the room smoothly. "They are not founders, but they have grown very powerful through military strength and resource control." Olivia watched their blue-skinned guide carefully. "And where do you stand on our dispute with them?" Kelnera's large eyes blinked slowly. "I serve the Council, not any single species, but privately." She lowered her voice. "There are many who worry about Xerelian expansion. Your case is important beyond just Earth." During the 3-day journey, the humans learned more about galactic politics than they had ever thought possible. Dr. Wright spent hours studying the ship's database. "Madam President," she said on the second day, her face serious, "I found our classification in their species index. They've categorized humans as resilient predators." "Is that bad?" Olivia asked. "It's rare, apparently. Most spacefaring species evolved from herd or flock animals. Predator species who reach space are considered unpredictable." Secretary Rodriguez had made his own discoveries through training sessions in the ship's exercise room. "These Council species," he said quietly during dinner, "most of them are physically fragile compared to us. The gravity on their home planets is lower than Earth's. Their bones break easier. Their skin tears more readily." "You're saying we're naturally stronger?" asked Olivia. "I'm saying they might fear us for reasons beyond politics." Ambassador Miller had been having long conversations with Kelnera about Council procedures. He looked troubled when he joined the others for their final strategy meeting. "The Xerelians have been expanding for centuries," he explained. "They claim planets, extract resources, and move on. They've never faced serious opposition from the Council." "Why not?" asked Olivia. "The founding 5 species don't always agree. Without unity among them, no action can be taken against a powerful member like the Xerelians." Olivia looked out the viewing port at the stars streaking by. "So we've wandered into a power struggle that's been going on for centuries." Dr. Wright nodded. "And our little fight with that scout ship might have given some Council members the excuse they've been waiting for to finally stand up to the Xerelians." "We're pawns," said Secretary Rodriguez with a frown. "No," replied Olivia firmly. "We're new players in an old game, and new players can change the rules." She stood up and faced her team. "I need to prepare my address to the Council. I won't let Earth become another victim of Xerelian expansion." On the 3rd day, Kelnera called them to the bridge. The view took their breath away. Ahead floated an enormous structure shaped like a flattened sphere, with spikes extending in all directions. Hundreds of ships of various designs moved around it like bees around a hive. "Nexus Station," announced Kelnera, "home of the Galactic Council." As the Harmony approached the massive station, Olivia felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. In the next few days, she would speak for all of humanity before the assembled powers of the galaxy. Everything depended on what happened next. The docking bay of Nexus Station buzzed with activity as the human delegation stepped off the Harmony. President Olivia Daniels tried to maintain her composure, but her eyes widened at the variety of alien life forms moving through the vast space. Some floated rather than walked. Others had multiple limbs or eyes. The air filled with strange sounds as different species communicated in their native languages. "Stay close," Kelnera advised. "The station houses representatives from over 100 worlds." Secretary Rodriguez instinctively moved closer to President Daniels. "Are we safe here?" "The Council enforces strict peace protocols on Nexus," Kelnera assured them. "Violence here would mean immediate expulsion from Council space." As they walked through curved hallways, Dr. Wright recorded everything with a small camera. Ambassador Miller studied the various species, trying to identify them from the database they had reviewed during their journey. "The tall ones with 4 arms are Vexeri," he whispered, "and the floating Ords are Mithrans." They reached a private chamber assigned to the Earth delegation. The room was comfortable, with adjustable gravity and temperature controls. "You have 2 hours before the council session," Kelnera informed them. "I must tell you something important." Her voice became serious. "In the council chamber, truth is sacred. Lying during official proceedings is punishable by immediate exclusion from council protection." "A truth field?" asked Dr. Wright. "Something like that," Kelnera replied. "The technology can detect deliberate falsehoods. The Exarelians know this, of course. Be prepared for their accusations." After Kelnera left, Ambassador Miller turned to the others. "At least we have truth on our side." "Truth can be twisted," Secretary Rodriguez reminded him. President Daniels was about to respond when the door chimed. A tall, reptilian figure entered without waiting for permission. Its scales were dark red, and its yellow eyes fixed on the humans with obvious contempt. "So these are the primitive creatures causing such trouble," the alien said, its translator making the words sound harsh and metallic. "And you are?" Olivia asked calmly. "High Commander Zorvex of the Cerelian Empire." The alien moved closer, towering over Olivia. "Your species attacked our scientific vessel. The Council will rule in our favor, and your planet will become part of our territory. Resistance will only make your terms worse." Ambassador Miller stepped forward. "Your scientific vessel destroyed our satellite without provocation." Zorvex made a sound like grinding stones, perhaps a laugh. "Proof? Evidence. The word of primitives against an established council member." The Xerilian turned to leave, but paused at the door. "Accept Xerilian authority, and perhaps we will be merciful." After the Xerilian left, the room remained silent for several moments. "Well, that was unpleasant," Dr. Wright finally said. An hour later, they were escorted to the council chamber. The room was enormous, with tiered seating forming a complete circle around a central speaking platform. Various species filled the seats, their quiet conversations creating a background hum. At the highest tier sat 5 different aliens, each more strange than the last. "The founding 5, Ambassador Miller whispered. "The original council members." As the human delegation took their assigned place, Olivia noticed a group of tall, willowy aliens with pale green skin looking at them with interest. One of them approached. "Earth delegation," the alien said in a melodic voice. "I am Elder Kyle Tor of Arcturus. Your presence here is significant." "How so?" asked Olivia. "The Exarelians have gone unchallenged for too long. Some of us hoped a new species might eventually shift the balance." The Arcturian glanced at the Cerelian delegation across the chamber. "Be careful. They will try to provoke you." Before more could be said, a resonating tone filled the chamber. The council session was beginning. High Commander Zorvex took the central platform first. The Cerelian's voice boomed through the chamber. "Honored Council, we bring grave concerns about a violent new species. These humans attacked an unarmed scientific vessel without warning or provocation." Zorvex pointed a clawed finger at the Earth delegation. "They are dangerous primitives unfit for galactic society. For the safety of all, Earth must be placed under Cerelian supervision." The council chamber filled with murmurs as all eyes turned to the humans. Ambassador John Miller stepped onto the central platform after Zorvex finished his accusations. He had practiced for this moment during the journey, but facing the assembled council made his heart race. He took a deep breath and began. "Honored Council, I am John Miller of Earth. We thank you for hearing our case." His voice was steady despite his nerves. "The Cerelian account is false. Their ship entered our system without communication and destroyed our satellite. We have proof." He activated a small device Dr. Wright had prepared. A hologram appeared above the platform showing the encounter between the Xerelian scout ship and Earth's satellite. The recording clearly showed the alien ship firing first. "This footage comes from our space monitoring systems," John explained. "As you can see, there was no provocation. The Xerelian ship attacked without warning." Dr. Wright joined him on the platform. She pointed to specific parts of the recording. "The Xerelian vessel used scanning technology that damaged our systems before attacking," she explained. "These energy signatures match weapons scans, not scientific instruments." Secretary Rodriguez stepped forward next. "The destroyed satellite was civilian, not military. It monitored weather and communications for our planet. It posed no threat." The council chambers filled with murmurs again. Several members leaned forward, studying the evidence with interest. The Arcturian delegation nodded approvingly. High Commander Zorvex hissed loudly. "Fabrications. These primitives manipulated this recording." The Xerelian pressed a button on his wrist device. "We have our own evidence." A new hologram appeared, showing what appeared to be human communications. A voice speaking English said, "Target Xerelian homeworld coordinates confirmed. Weapon systems ready." "Earth sent these signals before our scout ship arrived," Zorvex claimed. "We acted in self-defense against a clear threat to our homeworld." President Daniels stared in shock. This was completely false. She glanced at her team, seeing the same confusion on their faces. One of the founding five, a crystalline being that glowed with inner light, spoke. Its voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. "This is serious evidence from both sides. The Earth delegation may have time to study the Xerelian claims before responding. We will reconvene in 6 hours." Back in their private chamber, Dr. Wright worked frantically to analyze the supposed human communications presented by Zorvex. "This is impossible," she muttered. "We didn't even know Xerelians existed before their ship attacked. How could we have targeted their homeworld?" Ambassador Miller paced the room. "They're lying, but that truth detector Kelnera mentioned should have caught them." "Unless they believe it's true," Secretary Rodriguez suggested. "Maybe someone lied to them." President Daniels watched Dr. Wright work. "Can you prove the recording is fake?" "I'm trying," Dr. Wright replied, not looking up from her equipment. "Something about the voice pattern seems off." Hours passed. The tension in the room grew. Finally, just before they needed to return to the council chamber, Dr. Wright jumped up. "I found it. The recording is real, but heavily edited. These aren't military communications at all." She displayed her analysis on a screen. "It's from a popular space drama entertainment show called Stellar Conflicts. They took dialogue from fictional characters and spliced it together." Secretary Rodriguez laughed without humor. "They used our television shows as evidence. More than that," Dr. Wright continued. "The translation was deliberately manipulated. The original dialogue wasn't even talking about Xerelians. It was about fictional villains called Zeronians." President Daniels stood up, a determined look on her face. "So they fabricated a threat to justify their aggression. This isn't just about our satellite or even Earth. They're using us as an excuse for expansion." Ambassador Miller looked worried. "Will the council believe us over an established member?" "There's only one way to find out," Olivia replied, checking the time. "And we're about to find out." It's time to return to the chamber. As they walked back to face the council, President Daniels organized her thoughts. It was time for her to address the gathered species. Earth's future depended on what she would say next. The council chamber grew quiet as President Olivia Daniels walked to the central platform. Hundreds of alien eyes watched her every move. The Xerelian delegation looked confident, certain their deception would succeed. Olivia stood tall despite being physically smaller than most species present. Her simple blue suit contrasted with the elaborate robes and armor worn by many council members. She began to speak in a clear, strong voice. "Honored members of the Galactic Council, I am Olivia Daniels, President of the United Earth Government." She paused, looking around the chamber. "Humanity is young among the stars. Until recently, we believed we were alone in the universe. We thank you for this opportunity to be heard." Many council members nodded. The founding five watched with unreadable expressions. "We have reviewed the evidence presented by High Commander Zorvex," Olivia continued, "and we have discovered something troubling." Dr. Wright joined her, carrying their analysis device. "The alleged threats to the Cerulean homeworld are manufactured. The audio was taken from a fictional entertainment program and deliberately mistranslated." She played both the original show and the Cerulean evidence side by side. The similarities were obvious. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Zorvex shifted uncomfortably. "The Exarelians claim we threatened them before their scout ship arrived in our system," Olivia said. "But humanity did not even know the Exarelians existed until their ship attacked our satellite." She gestured to the hologram Dr. Wright displayed, showing a timeline of events. "The truth is simple. A Exarelian ship entered our system without communication. It scanned our defenses, then destroyed a civilian satellite." Olivia's voice grew stronger. "When confronted, they fled. And now they come here with lies to justify taking our home." Zorvex rose from his seat, hissing, "Your primitive species cannot be trusted. You are violent, unpredictable." "Yes," Olivia interrupted, surprising everyone. "Humans can be violent when threatened. We are protective of our home and our people." She looked directly at Zorvex. "But we do not start conflicts. We finish them." The chamber fell completely silent. Olivia turned to face each section of the council. "The evidence shows clearly what happened. The Exarelian Empire wants to expand. They saw Earth, thought we were defenseless, and attacked. When we proved otherwise, they retreated to try a different approach." She walked to the center of the platform. Her next words would define humanity's place in the galaxy. "Members of the Council, I stand before you not just as Earth's leader, but as a representative of a species that values truth, fairness, and peace." She paused, then turned to face Zorvex. "But make no mistake." Olivia's voice dropped slightly, but in the perfect acoustics of the chamber, every word carried clearly. "You attacked our home." She pointed directly at the Cerulean High Commander, not the other way around. "And in humanity's long history, those who attack our home have always come to regret it." The silence that followed was absolute. Several council members looked at each other in shock. No new species had ever directly confronted a powerful member like this. Then something unexpected happened. The Arcturian elder, Kyltor, began to tap his long fingers against the railing of his section. The sound echoed through the chamber. Slowly, other members joined in, species that had suffered from Cerulean expansion, but never dared to speak out. Zorvex rose to his full height, towering and menacing. "This is outrageous. We demand sanctions against Earth immediately." They threaten a council member openly. The crystalline founder who had spoken earlier raised a glowing limb. No threat was issued, merely a historical observation. Its voice resonated. The council must deliberate on the evidence presented by both parties. Olivia bowed respectfully to the founders, then walked back to her delegation with her head high. As she sat down, Ambassador Miller whispered, "That was either incredibly brave or incredibly foolish." "Possibly both," Olivia replied quietly. "But they needed to know that Earth will not be bullied or deceived." The council broke into various language groups, discussing intensely. The fate of Earth now rested in their hands. The waiting was the hardest part. President Olivia Daniels and her team were escorted back to their private chamber while the council deliberated. Outside their window, ships of various designs moved around Nexus Station like busy insects. 3 days, Kel Nera had told them. Council deliberations on major disputes typically last 3 days. 3 days while our fate is decided by aliens we barely know, Secretary Rodriguez said, looking out at the strange vessels. Ambassador Miller sat reviewing notes on his tablet. "At least we presented our case well." President Daniels, "Your speech made quite an impression." Olivia nodded but said nothing. She wondered if she had gone too far. Humanity's first impression on the galactic stage had been one of defiance. Kelnera visited them that evening, her blue skin looking paler than before. "Your address has created a significant divide in the council," she said, accepting a cup of earth tea from Dr. Wright. "The founding five are split on how to respond." "Split how?" Olivia asked. "Two support Earth's position. Two support the Vexarelians. The fifth is undecided." Kelnera sipped her tea. "Many smaller species are watching closely. Your confrontation with Zorvex has encouraged those who resent Xarelian expansion." After Kelnera left, Secretary Rodriguez began working on contingency plans. "If the ruling goes against us, we need to be prepared," he explained, showing military scenarios on his tablet. "The Xarelians could move against Earth immediately." "Always the military solution," Ambassador Miller said with a frown. "Maybe we should focus on diplomatic options." "We'll prepare for both," Olivia decided. The next day, Dr. Wright made an interesting discovery while studying council biological records. "Madam President, I've been comparing human physiology to council species," she said excitedly. "We have abilities many of them find remarkable." "Like what?" Olivia asked. "Our endurance, for one. Most council species can't run for more than a few minutes. We can run for hours. And our ability to heal from injuries is considered extraordinary. We recover from wounds that would be permanent for many species." "How does this help us?" Secretary Rodriguez asked. "Knowledge is power," Dr. Wright replied. "The more we understand how we compare to other species, the better we can position ourselves." Ambassador Miller spent the second day building relationships with other delegations. He returned to their chamber looking pleased. "The Arcturians have officially offered a trade agreement if Earth maintains independence," he reported, and 3 other species expressed interest in cultural exchanges. "They're hedging their bets," Secretary Rodriguez noted, "preparing for either outcome. Or they're showing support," Ambassador Miller countered, "taking sides before the ruling." That night, Olivia couldn't sleep. She stood by the window, watching the endless stream of ships. Earth seemed so far away. "We're newcomers challenging the established order," she said quietly to herself. "Perhaps that's our strength." On the third day, a delegation from one of the founding species requested a meeting. The beings called Duraxians resembled large octopuses with sensitive eyes and remarkable skin that changed colors as they spoke. "We have studied your species with great interest," the lead Duraxian said, its skin pulsing with blue and green patterns. "Your directness is refreshing." "Thank you," Olivia replied, unsure if it was a compliment. "The council has existed for 8 centuries," the Duraxian continued. "In that time, procedures and politics have become complex. Some find your straightforward approach disturbing." "And you?" Olivia asked. The Duraxian's skin rippled with golden light. "We find it necessary. The balance of power has been stagnant too long." After they left, Olivia gathered her team. "I think we've gained an ally among the founders." Just then, their chamber door opened. Kelnera stood there, her expression serious. "The council has reached a decision," she announced. "Your presence is required in the chamber immediately." As they walked through the corridors of Nexus Station, Olivia noticed other species watching them with newfound interest. Whatever happened next, humanity had made its mark on galactic politics. "Ready?" she asked her team as they reached the council chamber doors. They nodded together. The massive doors slid open, revealing the assembled council waiting in silence for Earth's representatives to hear their fate. The council chamber was completely full. Word had spread about the dispute between Earth and the Xarelian Empire. Species from across the galaxy had come to witness the ruling. President Olivia Daniels and her team took their places, facing the raised platform where the founding five sat. The Xarelian delegation, led by High Commander Zorvex, looked tense but confident. The crystalline founder rose, its body glowing with inner light. When it spoke, the chamber fell silent. The Council has reviewed all evidence presented by both the Exarelian Empire and Earth. We have deliberated for 3 days, as is our custom in matters of serious dispute. The crystal being's light pulsed with each word. Our decision is unanimous. Olivia held her breath. Unanimous. That meant even the founders who had supported the Exarelians had changed their position. The Exarelian Empire is found guilty of unprovoked aggression against Earth. Furthermore, they are guilty of presenting false evidence to this council. Gasps and murmurs filled the chamber. Zorvex rose to protest, but the founder continued speaking. The penalty is as follows. The Exarelian Empire is barred from the Sol system. Any Exarelian vessel entering Earth's home system without explicit permission will be considered in violation of council law. The Diraxian founder, its skin now glowing with golden patterns, spoke next. Additionally, Earth is recognized as a sovereign system with all rights of Council Associate membership. Earth representatives will have speaking privileges at all future Council sessions. Secretary Rodriguez leaned close to Olivia. We won, he whispered in disbelief. High Commander Zorvex strode to the center of the chamber, his tail lashing in anger. This is outrageous. The Council has been deceived by these primitives. The Exarelian Empire will not accept this ruling. The Arcturian elder, Kyltor, stepped forward. The ruling is unanimous, Commander. Even your allies among the founders voted against you. Accept your defeat with dignity. The Exarelian Empire does not forget insults. Zorvex hissed, looking directly at Olivia. You have made a powerful enemy today. The Crystal Founder's light flashed brightly. Threats in the council chamber violate our most sacred protocols. The Exarelian delegation is dismissed. Zorvex and his team left the chamber, their anger visible in every movement. Olivia stood and walked to the central platform. She knew her next words would set the tone for humanity's place in the galaxy. Honored Council, Earth thanks you for your fair consideration of our case. Her voice was calm and measured. We did not come seeking enemies. We came seeking justice. Earth extends friendship to all peaceful species, including the Exarelian people, should they choose to engage with us respectfully in the future. Many council members nodded approvingly. The diplomatic approach after victory seemed to impress them. Later, at a reception hosted by the Arcturians, many species approached the human delegation. Some offered trade agreements. Others wanted cultural exchanges. A few simply wished to learn more about this new species that had stood up to the Exarelians. The Arcturian elder, Kyltor, spoke privately with Olivia. Your species has accomplished something remarkable today. You may have changed the balance of power in the galaxy. We only defended ourselves, Olivia replied. Exactly, Kyltor said. Others have suffered Exarelian aggression for centuries, but lacked the courage to challenge them. You showed it could be done. As the Earth delegation prepared to return home the next day, Olivia stood at a viewing port looking out at the stars. Their journey had begun with an attack on a satellite. It had ended with humanity joining a community of worlds beyond anything they had imagined. Ready to go home, Madam President? Ambassador Miller asked, joining her at the window. Yes, she replied. We have so much to prepare. Earth is part of something much bigger now. The journey back would take 3 days. Then would come the challenge of explaining to the people of Earth that they were no longer alone, and no longer the most powerful beings they knew. The universe had become much larger, more dangerous, and more wonderful than anyone had dreamed. As the council ship departed Nexus Station, Olivia thought about the words she had spoken to Zorvex. You attacked our home. Simple words that had changed humanity's destiny forever.